This week on the Hearts of Gold podcast, I get to sit down with Patrick Piatt from Oroville City. Patrick isn't from here. He grew up in Southern California, and so I was really excited to hear an outsider's perspective on our community, on our town, and what he's doing to serve our city. We get into the conversation about the biomass project that is coming here to Butte County and Oroville specifically. And I was really intrigued and interested to hear what he had to say. I don't really know anything about any of it. And so I get to ask him questions, and he's so kind and gracious in responding. So hopefully you can learn along with me a little bit as we talk about some of that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We see every single comment, and subscribe notification. And we do a little happy dance. It's so fun for us. We are having so much fun highlighting local individuals, voices, and organizations in Butte County who have a heart of gold. So join me today as we welcome Patrick on the Hearts of Gold podcast.
Just really a heart of gold.
I mean, she's tough, but she has a heart of gold.
I'm a problem solver, and I have a heart of gold. Thank you, James.
See, ladies, a heart of gold.
But I know you have a heart of gold and have done many good deeds.
You've been most helpful.
Yeah, that's me. Heart of gold.
You have a heart of gold.
18 karat.
Hello and welcome to the Hearts of Gold podcast. We are so excited for this episode today because we get to have none other than Patrick Piatt with the City of Oroville. And I'm just going to read a little bit of Patrick's bio. You may have seen him out and about at city events, but also he does a lot of behind the scenes and just kind of everywhere. So I'm just going to start by reading your bio. Patrick is the Community Development Director for the City of Oroville, where he oversees planning, building, economic development, annexations, that's a buzzword. That's a buzzword right now. Annexations and citywide branding initiatives. He strives to pair big picture visions with practical executions. I love that. And focuses on creating resilient industries, fostering inclusive economic growth, and positioning Oroville for long-term success. That's an amazing bio. You wrote that? You came up with that? That's great. That's fantastic. We're done. That's you. No, I love it. No, thank you so much, Patrick, for being here and for saying yes.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yes.
This is fun.
Yay. I know.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's fun. It's not too intimidating. I think these comfy chairs are a little newer.
I do like the comfy chairs.
Yeah. They swivel, which is nice.
I'm a swiveler.
Yeah. Well, so I'm excited for our listeners and our viewers to kind of get to know you a little bit more, because a lot of people, they'll see people at events and around town and like their name on things, and they're like, what, do they have a face to go with that? And so I don't know, you may not want that, but I think our community would love to see to put a face with the name and get to know you a little bit. So I love to start with getting to know kind of your golden beginnings. So life before Oroville. I mean, a lot of people in this small-ish community and in Butte County, for that matter, were born and raised here. And that's not the case for you. So tell us about your golden beginnings, life before. What were you doing? Where did you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in Southern California and a little town called Claremont. It's about 30 miles east of LA.
Okay.
And my parents grew up in that same town, so we had some family history there. And I worked for several cities. Well, I graduated from a college in Claremont, also Pitzer College.
Yeah, we were saying there's a lot of colleges
Yeah,
right
there's a
in
whole
that
little
region.
cluster of colleges.
Okay.
People mostly know Pomona College, but Pitzer is part of that little cluster. And I went to work for cities when I graduated, started as an intern in Ontario. That was really fun. It was interesting. They built a convention center and a 1 million square foot mall while I was there.
Oh, a mall.
Yeah, it was really...
It's a mall. For those of you that were born before 2015, a mall
is where you bought things.
is where you would go. They had shops in there.
Exactly right.
They had sometimes a food court. Anyway, that's a big mall.
Yeah, it's a big mall. Yeah.
Wow.
And they were fun projects. And then, so I worked for several cities. I was a consultant for many
Okay.
years. I went to work for the city of Encinitas. That was the last place I was, down in San Diego County.
Oh, wow.
And then
oh,
I
so farther
Came
south.
up here. Yeah.
Wow. So you've
Yeah.
been down, I mean, trying to think, 30 miles.
Directly east of LA. It's the last city in LA
Where's
County,
my northeast? Okay. So farther away from the ocean.
further away from the ocean.
Further.
That's
yes.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love, how did you, I mean, being down in that region, did you ever go to the big theme park, Disney, while you were down there? Well, you know,
Well, yes, I went to all of those.
you went to
right.
all, oh yeah, Knott's Berry Farm,
Magic
is that down-
Mountain.
Magic Mountain, all that
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Disney has not sponsored this podcast, but we're working on them. So.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm amazed about how many people just love Disney, because I always I could go to Disney like pretty easily. It was like
Yeah.
a 30-minute drive, but I still
Wild.
really liked Disneyland. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, and it's when you grow up somewhere, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't have as big of an effect as when you're,
I'm always amazed when I go to the airports. Like, so I was in Orange County last weekend, and when I was flying back up, there's always people in the airport with, there's like, full-grown men with Disney slippers and backpacks and little mouse hats. And,
yes, yes, it's all,
the whole family's like the luggage and everything is Disney. Yeah.
Yeah,
People
that's so
love
funny.
Disney.
It's always so, because I always try to imagine what that would be like to live down in that region. My cousin actually, she lives in San Diego, but she just got to be a seat filler at the Grammys. And so
Is that a thing?
That's a thing. And she's also been a seat filler at the Academy Awards.
How do you get that gig?
I don't know.
Did they pay you for that?
No,
Huh.
no. I mean, I don't think so. But it's like you apply and you get an email and say if you've been accepted, and yeah. So she got to go be part of the Grammys.
Wow.
I know. She has a picture of her on the red carpet, and then they don't allow any phones or anything in there. But there's a little.
She got her picture taken on the red carpet
Yeah,
too?
I don't know if it was with her phone or with somebody. It wasn't like a
selfie maybe, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't the red carpet. It was just
Yeah.
there. It said like Grammys in the background.
She brought her
Anyway.
own red carpet to lay down.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm being down in Southern California. I feel like, it's you're around Hollywood, you're around all that type of stuff. So I'm always curious about people who grow up there. But yeah.
I mean, I was a half an hour from LA, and then Hollywood's not too far. So I probably did get to go to LA and Hollywood more than most people do, but you know how it is. You sort of like stay in your community, right?
Yes.
We'd go to the beach a lot. The beach was 40-minute drive. So in the summertime we were kids. Once we got our licenses, we were at the beach,
Yeah.
all the time. But
Oh, that sounds so nice. And then you had shared with me before that there was a big mountain or you were at the base
yeah,
of...
I was at the base. Well, I actually lived in Mount Baldy also for, Mount Baldy has a 10,000 foot peak. So it's like, I don't know, like the second highest mountain
Okay.
or I don't know. It's a big mountain.
Big mountain, yeah.
Yeah, and I grew up in Mount Baldy for a little bit, for a few years. I went to kindergarten there, and that was
Yeah.
like just this little village town, and then we moved down the hill, but I could always see Mount Baldy every day. Yeah,
I love it because again, like my preconception of Southern California is just big city. I don't think of a lot of nature. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't think
right.
of mountains, but maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Well, there's a whole mountain range that separates the high desert from the whole LA basin. And it runs all the way basically from Santa Monica to San Bernardino. It's a pretty long, pretty big mountain stretch. But yeah, what we were talking about that was that I couldn't see the mountains for most of the year because it was so smoggy.
Yes.
Right,
So
yeah.
and from the big city, right? From all
Yeah.
the exhaust and
Well, it's
everything.
just, the cars were just so polluting back then, I mean,
Yeah.
you think about a big 55 Chevy or, my
Right.
parents always had a big station wagon, but everyone had a big car. That's what you
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Right. And so, they were heavily polluters, and then the factories and everything, they were in LA.
Yeah.
So
It's super interesting. So when I talk to some of my friends who live back east, and I tell them that, oh, it's our year to get our car smogged or whatever, for when we get registration, they look at me like, smog, what does getting your car smogged mean? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you pay the fee to have a smog test on your car to see if it can pass. And if it doesn't, then you can't drive it. They're like, oh, we don't have that here. So they didn't have, and so California is one of those that now, I'm sure, because after all of the cars just used to not have any regulations on them.
I don't know if other states still do. In most states, if you go traveling around and you fill up your tank, it doesn't have that big rubber flange on it that traps the emissions from escaping as the gas is going in.
Really?
So it's just, that's how it was when I was a kid. They didn't have that. And so you would just stick the little pipe down in the gas tank hole.
Yeah.
And then pump the gas in, but
just smell all the fumes.
Oh yeah, no, it really smells pretty pungently, pretty potently.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
So my cousin used to come out when we were kids from Texas.
Okay.
And all through his childhood, and then he didn't come out through his teen years, and then he came out again like somewhere in his 20s. And we got up in the morning, went outside, and he goes, "Oh my God, y'all have mountains?" Because he had literally never been able to see them.
Wow.
Yeah, so they cleaned up the air. I think it was in Jerry Brown's first term.
Okay.
He changed a lot of laws. He probably brought in the smog check law too. I don't really know where those came from. I don't know what all the laws were that made this change, but it completely changed the air. So you can go outside, and I mean, right now it's beautiful down there. Which again, like, you don't really think of that because it truly is like concrete and houses from the ocean to the desert.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know. I mean, I love California. It's such a big state, and there's so many so many different just things everywhere. Well, I'm going to come back to that image that you brought up, but before we do that, I want to. How did you said in San Diego before, and then you came up here? What is we're going to follow that yellow brick road, the golden brick road. How did you come to Oroville? I mean, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, I feel like, like what brought you here?
I wanted to have a job where I thought I could really make a difference, where I could have an impact on the community. And when you're in a big city, it's a little bit tougher. Right? Like there's a clear hierarchy in all of the positions, and then things are much more political. And so I first took a job in Willows.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I was there for a short time, and then Oroville, the HR manager, called me and asked me if I'd want to apply for a job here. So so I did, and then
coming to a smaller community where you. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Feel like you could make a difference.
Yeah. I feel like I can. I have much better connection to the people, I spent my first few months, maybe 6 or 8 months, really as much as I could, getting out and going to the shops and meeting people and going to meetings and seeing what different groups are up to, and just letting people know who I am.
I remember that when some of the downtown Oroville meetings, you were there like consistently.
Yeah.
I mean, all these meetings you would show up to.
Right. Yeah. And the realtor board, they asked me to speak to them, and that you don't really have that kind of access. And in other cities, the people don't. There's a bigger disconnect, between the city and the community. So and it's one of the things, I think that's in a question.
Yes. Yeah. Go for it.
But that's one of the things that I've really been trying to work on here, is breaking that down so that the community feels more engaged with the city. Yeah. And I feel like this is not unique to here. This is a universal truth that everybody thinks that it's an us against them. That's the city and then us, and that the city is there for some sort of like speed bump or opposition to whatever they want to do. But it's really not the case. Our bosses are people that are elected by the public. So
because the city is. So just help me to understand, because for those who don't, and I'm not sure that I quite understand either, but the structure, the city structure, when you said your bosses are elected, so that would be like the mayor and city council?
That's right.
Okay. Yep. So they're in charge of you all, or they're your boss. They tell you what to do.
I report Yeah, this city is a little bit unique. The city most cities, the city manager reports directly to the council, and then everyone else that works for the city reports to the city manager.
Okay.
In this city, the city manager and all the department heads report directly to the city council.
Okay.
And then we are responsible for our individual groups.
I see. Okay.
In reality, though, and the way that we all treat it inside the city is there really needs to be a leader. So as all of us directors, we see Brian Ring as the leader, so
Whose title is city administrator.
City administrator.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So we take direction from Brian, and he's passing it through us from the council. But
yeah, you do need someone who's kind of like,
you need to have a ringleader.
yes,
right? Yeah.
hey, Ring. Does that he get that joke made a lot? A Brian Ringleader.
I wish I'd have thought of that.
You did. You said it.
I did, but on accident. I'm going to try to use that again sometime. But then the city council reports to the whole public.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Every 4 years, they report to them again. So
okay, and that okay. So then what is the state of the city? Because that's every year. Is that when they're reporting to
State
everybody?
of the city is generally done by the mayor. That's like in every city.
Okay.
So this is the mayor delivers to the public the state of the city. So they compile information. Usually all the cities will participate in providing information that will go to the mayor, and then we put together sort of a program for him so he could follow through and put together what he'll deliver to the city, he or she.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
And then the mayor has the last and final say. So they get to go through, I don't really want to talk about this, or I think we should talk a little bit more. So we might massage the presentation a little bit for that.
Okay.
But it is the mayor's presentation.
I see. So then when you said every 4 years they present, is that just because those are
Every 4 years there's an election.
Oh, election. Okay. I missaid it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So every 4 years they get sort of a check with the city, like, how am I doing?
I see. I see. That's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. No, I think it's super helpful because we have, several high school students that are starting to tune into the podcast. And then, my own kids, which they think we're just a little too cringe. So I don't know. That's fine. I'm just leaning into all the kids. They're my kids. But I mean, their friends, some of their friends are tuning in. And I think it's really important for people to understand the structure and also not be afraid to ask questions, because it seems, especially if you're in it and you're like, oh yes, well, of course, this is the structure. This person reports to this person and this person. Then it can kind of feel weird for somebody to ask a question and say, oh, I don't know what that means. Yeah. And so hopefully with this conversation, we can shed some light on that and let them know you can ask, like,
it's such a great point, because one of the things I've been trying to do in our department, well, we're not trying, we are doing this, but I don't feel like I've done a great job of letting the public know that this is available, that they can come in and they can, if they have a project, and I've put this in my newsletters that I put out every month.
Oh yes, you put out a newsletter. We got to come back to that so that people know how to sign up. Anyway, yeah, it's
in my newsletter that I put out every month, and I put in there twice. I've kind of mentioned it twice. That what would be great for us and for the public is if they have an idea that they want to do something, an office, a shop, a restaurant, whatever it might be, a batch plant or whatever they want to do. Come into the city hall and talk to us first, because there's some things that we can sort of work out with them. Because of the zoning, the things that we, the city staff, are it's our job to make sure that everybody's following the code. My department doesn't go after them once it's in place,
Yeah.
But if they do things that are incorrectly, there's another department that will.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
So my department's job is to make sure that they understand what they need to do to have it be appropriate, and to make sure that they, to make sure that they have success in what they want to do.
Yeah, like support and
exactly right. It should be a supportive role, right? And so if someone thinks to myself, I'm going to do this, and then they start spending money and they start going down a path of this is the idea that I have, I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah.
Only to find out later that actually because of maybe zoning, it's not allowed.
Oh, right.
Or, some different things, right?
Yeah. And then people are can be upset and then you're like, oh.
Yes, there's a lot of customer frustration about that. So
Yeah.
what we do is we have them come in and talk to us about it first. So you come in with your idea and then we can work out like pretty quickly whether or not that can be done at that location. And, depending on what the business is, we may be able to also kind of steer them towards, actually, I mean, any business, we can steer them towards where they would be able to do that by right, or the path where they'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then we hold meetings with all the departments so that each department can weigh in and let them know you'll need to do this or you'll need to do that, so then they leave with a full picture of everything that they're going to need to do.
Yes.
So that they have, hopefully that really kicks them off to success. In some instances, it may end up saying with charges that they weren't expecting that they'll, that would be unfortunate, but would have to be done, right? In other cases, we've actually been able to strip things away from people so that it's easier and cheaper for them to actually start the business that they wanted to.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Our building department is really great at taking a look at it and saying, well, the way you're looking at it is you're going to do it this way. But if you think a little differently and you do it this way, you can save all this other work that you wouldn't have to do. Yeah.
Because you guys are so well versed on on everything, on the code, on the zoning, on everything that you can go, oh, actually you don't need all this.
That's right. And
just do this.
There's no person, when we bring our team together, there's no person on our team that can answer all of those questions, but we have the whole team together that can speak to their disciplines and then they can answer those questions appropriately and effectively.
Yeah.
So, and we all have a mindset of, how do we help this happen? We don't have, there's no type of business, there's no person that could come in where we would be like, oh, we're not helping them, or we're going to, anyone that comes in with something that fits or that works, will help them get to their, to where they want to be.
That's so cool. That's so great to hear. I was thinking we had someone, I think on the planning commission, come and speak to one of the downtown Oroville business meetings. I'm so sorry. I cannot remember his name.
John Zillich.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Yeah. And he was talking about starting a business with like a high school student or like minors to high school students. You guys have maybe a program or something. And if I'm wrong, like, I don't know, but he was talking about how students can start businesses very low cost or I do.
He is one of a group of people that came to council and asked if they could form an ad hoc committee to take a look at our codes. So they really drilled in. I mean, they spent a few months, and they met with me several times. They wanted to do it on their own, but they'd ask me to come in every once in a while and like just hear what they're doing and just sort of a check, right?
Okay.
And so what they wanted to do was see if they could find ways in our code to relax the code a little bit so that it would make things easier for people to get
business license
do what they want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't write the code and no city staff writes the code. The code is all written by and approved and adopted by the council.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they tell us how they want it to be. We'll write it. We have the attorney review it and then they approve or adopt it, right?
Whole process. Okay.
Whole process. Yeah. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while to do. Yeah, but so they wanted to do this.
Sounds boring, but yeah.
It's super exciting. Aaron, come on. So the thing that he was talking about is that there were a couple of categories where he thought, we want to encourage kids to have businesses and have businesses out of their homes if they can. And so they were looking at some different type of business types that might be able to be done just right in their own home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he had said that and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. I was very high achiever driven high schooler, and to the point where right out of school, I got a business license from the state. It was like $25. Yeah. Cause I was charging people to take photos of them. And I was like, well, if I'm charging, then I'm a business and I need a business license. I don't know. That's just how it worked in my head. Right. Like that's wanted to be
Except
legit.
for that, most people don't think that. You have to have someone knock on your door and say, like, hey, you have to have a business license for this.
Right. And well, that's the thing is it wasn't that expensive, but I'm thinking too, because I just like to put that out there for the students of like, you can, it sounds like there's support now and there's resources for, if you have an idea, run something out of your house, like you guys have the info for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
That code, I mean, all of these changes are going to the Planning Commission in this month.
Okay.
The last Tuesday,
February.
Fourth Tuesday of every month is a Planning Commission.
Okay.
And then once that's done, if the Planning Commission approves what the ad hoc committee came up with, then that'll go to the council for adoption. So then that would go, council has the ability to change things if they want to, or not take some of the recommendations, and then it takes 2 more meetings to do that. So, and that's how a code is adopted. It takes 2 meetings.
2 meetings to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess we have to have processes and all that stuff. Can't just push things through.
No,
I guess
can't.
I can respect that. No, I love that. Thank you for sharing, for taking a minute to kind of lay that out for our listeners, because I'm sure too, there's probably people that listen that are, well into maybe their 70s or 80s and may not know the whole structure of it. So I love it.
Very few people know. And I mean, it's really, there's nothing bad or wrong about that.
Yeah.
I could say fairly confidently, if I didn't work for a city, I would have no idea how it ran.
Yeah.
Because, you just want to do your thing, which is like, can I tell you too?
Yes.
This is one of the things that I came up with a while back that were a way that I really found meaning in working for a city, because there's a lot of sort of opposition, right? And then sometimes
we're getting into mining of the heart right now. We're going to talk. Is this your mining of the heart? Yes. Tell us.
Did I transition smoothly into that?
Yes, It was great. That was a beautiful transition.
So I started to look at it as that very few people in the community know who we are. And they don't have any idea what we do. They just get to live their lives without having to worry about things, right? So the police are doing their thing.
Yeah.
The public works are, patching potholes and putting up signs and all that stuff. And, nobody really has to think about it. They know that when they come into a stop sign, they have to stop, but they don't. Nobody
Sometimes.
ever thinks about,
we all have a California stop. We're all Californians here.
Okay, when you come up to a stop sign, you have to roll through it.
You have to roll
slowly, but they don't ever think about like how that got put up and what it went into like putting that stop sign in. The studies that have to happen to make sure like will a stop sign actually make this safer? Will it make it more dangerous? Because that's a thing.
Interesting.
And there's a whole science behind it that the engineers have to deal with.
Really?
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
had no idea. Or is this like the kind of along the same lines as I think, did you give a presentation or someone gave a presentation at a Rotary Club meeting about the speed limit coming from the Green Bridge? You know what I'm talking about?
Maybe Alyssa.
Maybe it was Alyssa.
Yeah.
Okay. But the science and the studies that went into maybe adjusting the speed limit, it may like making it less, because people tend to speed on that.
Yeah.
Because you're going uphill, so you're trying to go, and then people coming downhill, and it was like crossing the bridge. And she had said something along the lines of, you think that by making the speed limit lower, it would slow people down, but that's not always the case.
No, and
it's not always safe.
There is a whole science behind it too, and it's partially. I mean, there's the big component, probably the biggest component, I suppose, is to make sure that it's safe, right? So like everything has to get worked down to that. Like how fast does the car have to be going to be able to make a turn,
right?
Like, and then. What's the distance that a person needs to slow down to be able to get to that speed, to be able to make that turn, all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
But then there's also this whole other thing too, which is regretful, but lawsuits.
Okay.
So if we didn't do that, if we just said, I think about 35 is about right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then we can get challenged and we can get sued. If someone gets in an accident, we haven't done our due diligence and gone through like these exhaustive studies that are expensive, then we can get sued pretty easily, because then we didn't do our due diligence.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. See, that's stuff that's all like behind the scenes, really mundane, monotonous, boring stuff in my brain. But some people really like love that.
I think engineers like it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Like, sure the engineers like it. I'm not an engineer, artist, but no. But I think too, that's super interesting. I think about that. Just even just a stop sign. Knowing there's so many systems that run in our world that keep us running. Do you know what I mean? Like there's the stop sign, all those, and there's people behind all of those systems. I mean, it boggles my mind sometimes that the only thing that's keeping me on this side of the road and that person on that side of the road is like a yellow line.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of trust that goes out to leaving your house every day, right?
Yeah.
Or getting in your car and doing anything. Yeah. I used to think about that if I was driving up the 395. For some reason, that road always makes me think about it. It's dark at night, and it's like it's a narrow road, and you have a lot of trust that the person coming the other way is awake.
Is there?
Right?
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't. If I spend too much on driving, I like get freaked out. But no, it's wild. But I want to lean into more of kind of more mining of the heart. Why did you? I mean, we know why you chose like a smaller community in Oroville, but why choose this work? How did you get into working with cities and administration and all of that?
I was planning on being a teacher or a lawyer.
Really?
Right. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but I thought maybe I'll take a beat and I'll do an internship with the city and I'll look and see where all the graft and waste is. That's literally why I did it.
Okay.
And then my first city that I worked for was City of Ontario, where they were building a convention center and a mall,
Okay.
And then we had tons of projects going on with low income housing, and there was so much happening in that city, and it was exactly the opposite of what I thought government was like.
Really?
Everybody was busy, and I was like, from the jump, there was days where I felt like they should pass out roller skates to us because I can't get all this done.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I so move to make everyone in Oroville City staff wear roller skates. Yeah. Rollerblades. You can have roller. You can have inlines.
Require studies for us to get around the corners and all that other.
I know. No, I can't go too fast with those on. I love that.
But yeah, and then I stayed, and I really I didn't go to school for this. My degree is in history with an emphasis of multiculturalism. So it's really
wow.
It doesn't really lay out for a career in the city, but I've been working for a city for 30 years now.
Yeah, that's why I know that's so interesting. How you can go to school for something and then the internship
got my foot in the door, right?
Yeah.
Just having a college got my foot in the door, and then I took the internship and I worked really hard, and then they decided to keep me, so they hired me on for a full-time job, and then. And then I just bounced around a little bit. One of my first bosses says, you can't move up working in municipal government unless you move out. So I thought, I guess I got to keep moving then.
In municipal government, meaning?
Cities.
Just city. Oh, okay.
Counties would be a municipal government.
Oh, unless you move out of
Go to a different city.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah. So I did get 2 promotions in that city before I went on, but.
Okay. Wow. That's so neat. I love that. And it's almost, I don't know. I think that's a testament to just saying yes to an internship too. I mean, like something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way that you fell in love with it, it was completely different than what you thought.
They didn't call me right away for my interview. And there was an information packet about redevelopment. That was the department I was in, redevelopment.
Redevelopment, okay.
And so I had time to read the whole packet before they came and got me. So I nailed all the questions.
Oh, nice.
And at one point, the guy said, "You read the packet just before you came in here, didn't you?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I did."
Yes, you got to be prepared. Yeah. I love that. No, well, thank you so much for sharing. I can't wait to get into more of the questions. But for now, we're going to take a minute to hear a couple words from our sponsors of this episode. And then also, if you would take a minute to just subscribe to this YouTube channel and maybe give us a like, maybe give us a comment even, or even send this to somebody who you think would enjoy hearing about the structure of the city and how it works, or maybe be interested in learning more, getting a job, finding out what other opportunities that they have there for them. All right, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. This week's episode is sponsored in part by Miller Glass Company. For generations, Miller Glass has proudly served Butte County with multiple locations and expert service you can count on. From auto glass repair and replacement to residential windows, showers, and custom glass to commercial storefronts and safety glass, Miller Glass does it all. And if you've been around here for a while, then you probably remember the Glass Man and that famous local jingle, "He'll fix it fast, man." That same hometown commitment is still going strong today. Call Miller Glass at the number listed below or visit their website, www.millerglass.com. And be sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Miller Glass Incorporated. Thank you so much. This episode is brought to you by Aaron Lackey Photography. That's me. I'm the photographer. This is my studio. We have a studio here in downtown Oroville, and I love photographing families, high school seniors, and pets. And you know what is right around the corner? The holidays. You're going to want to have somebody document those memories for you. Do you have a kid who's missing their front teeth? Now's the time to get them in for a portrait session. Do you have maybe a tween who is gawky and awkward? That phase doesn't last that long. You're going to want to have them in to have that documented. Even though they may not want to, you're going to want to. What about a high school senior who's getting ready to graduate in 2026? You're going to want to have them come in and we can have a consultation and we can talk about all the amazing things that we can do for your high school senior to make their year the best. Maybe you have a family and you haven't had portraits for, 5-10 years, maybe never. I have clients that have never had a family portrait. Come, let's talk. Let's have a conversation and we can plan where these portraits will live in your home. Last thing, if you are a business owner, maybe you're a professional. Maybe you haven't had a business portrait or a headshot or some branding images for a while. Let's talk. We can make that happen for you so you have amazing portraits to put online for your social media, all of those things. I can't wait to talk to you and we can have a conversation and see what that will look like. Ultimately, it was hard to get me on this podcast. I was very busy. This is a busy time of year. And so, they're lucky that I said yes to come on and be an advertising business. There's other businesses that really wanted this spot, but I took it from them. So maybe you'll be the next one to advertise here. Okay, back to the episode. And we're back, and I'm interviewing the lovely Patrick Piatt, and we were just going to get into your hidden gem. Do you have a hidden gem in this region? It doesn't have to be Oroville, it's all Butte County, that not enough people know about. Or maybe if you don't want them to know about it, then come up with a different one. But something that...
No, everyone can know about this. This is, I don't know, it's a really special thing for me when I'm driving to work, because I do live in Chico. When I drive to work and I come down over that last little hill where the forebay starts to come into view, if there's, especially if there's a little bit of mist and all through this right now and through the spring when everything's green, it's stunning. I mean, it's idyllic, and it almost looks like it's not real, like someone made that, you know? I mean, it's so
I know
beautiful.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
That just like little mist coming over the top. And I feel like most Orvillians maybe don't get to see that because they're not driving up and over that hill. So I think it'd be worth it just to go north a little bit, and come right back.
And then come right back.
Yeah, and see what that looks like.
Interesting. That's like, local here. I don't know if I know what hill you're talking about, but I have not seen that.
And driving through the farmlands too is pretty, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that should be a tourism thing, just around the again in the mornings, but when all the nut trees are in bloom.
Oh yes,
and driving down those little lanes, that's really just stunning.
That's something I know. Yeah. James, we talk about. So we've had people come to visit, and we have a whole route that we do for a tour of Oroville.
Oh, do you?
We take them to the Ishii Monument. We take them to the Mother Orange Tree. We take them up to the dam, and James has a whole it's not really a script, but it's a spiel that he says. Nice. We actually haven't done it for a while, but
we have one. Wes Irvin in our department put one together for. It's really centered more around economic development, but we've taken a few people in the tour, and And it's exhausting. It's like 2.5 hour tour.
Oh,
And it's
that's
just
long.
inside Oroville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But you go through like every part of Oroville. And it's
Yeah.
really an interesting tour.
Yeah, that's neat. That's
Yeah.
and I mean, people have lived here for their whole lives and may not have seen some of the things that that are here.
Yeah.
That
Well, it's like me with Disneyland.
well, right. That's
Right?
so true. That's
Right?
that's so true because Seattle, when we lived in Seattle, we lived on Queen Anne Hill, which was at the top of the Space Needle, the hill right up there. That's where the university was, and so. We would talk to people. We're saying, "Oh, we're going to go on the Space Needle." These locals are like, "We've never been there. We've never been on the Space Needle." They've lived there. They've never gone up, and we probably went up 2 or 3 times when we lived there. So, yes,
My sister lives in Manhattan. She's lived there for 30 years. She's never been to Times Square on New Year's Eve.
Oh my goodness!
she
What?
She has no interest in doing it.
I feel like I would fly out there just for that.
A lot of people do. I mean, I think tens of thousands of people do every year.
It's like, pass. That's so awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, the next segment I like to call Fool's Gold. And so this is kind of lessons, regrets, if you have them. I try to live without regrets, but and more
How
like
do you
lessons.
do that?
I don't know. I think I do have regrets, but I try to turn them into learning moments.
They're all learning moments.
Yeah, sure. That's just a fancy way. Or challenges. So if there's something, and feel free to go as deep as you want, but something that you could do differently, either in personal life or in business or this region. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like one regret is that I didn't manage my career a little bit better. I started working for, it's been 32 years I've been working for cities. And for 20 of those years, I was a consultant.
Oh, yes.
But
you said
for
that.
12 of those 20 years, I worked for both as a consultant and for cities. So I had my foot into both camps and I wasn't really moving forward in either direction. So I didn't, I ended up just closing my business down to go all in working for a city because I came up with that thing about like how really sort of the satisfaction that I get knowing that we do things for people and they get to live their lives without worrying about all of these things that are sort of handled.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
So, but as I think about that, then, and with what's going on here in Oroville, I feel like it was almost like fateful that I'm here right now at this time. At this time of my life and this time in Oroville because there's
time and place.
This time and place, yeah, because there's just this place is just rich with opportunity right now, and I just see them like unfolding and coming. Like so much is coming, but we have all this interest from a few developers, and we have a huge chunk of land that just had an environmental impact report that was adopted by the council.
Okay.
And it was done for a really big project. And that, if we don't do that project, we can do something else, but the report still works for that.
Yeah.
So that right there in and of itself is
cool.
interesting to a developer to come in because that takes a long time and they're expensive to do. So we have several businesses that are interested in coming into that spot. Then we have all this energy stuff that's coming, right?
I mean, if you don't mind sharing a little bit, I know there's a lot of talk and rumblings. I don't know.
Humble rumble.
Humble rumble, just about, and I don't know if this is what you're going to, but about the biomass, about a facility.
Right.
Would you share a little bit about that? Because as someone who, for me, I'm very concerned about the environment. I'm concerned, I don't.
As all good-hearted people are.
But I don't, and in this region, so when I hear biomass, I think of, I don't know, all I see is like a big plutonium sign. I don't know, or like, I don't know. That's what comes to my brain. So I don't know. I would love for you to share.
Well,
a bit about that.
So, we talked a little bit ago about where I grew up and to the base of a 10,000 foot mountain that I couldn't see
Southern California,
most of the year. We weren't allowed to go out to recess because the air was so polluted.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they would actually just keep us indoors all day long.
Which we have some experience up here just with the fires.
But that's the fires, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So it's
right.
not necessarily.
And you don't get them as often, but it still is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not coming from factories and things like
No,
what it
but
was
actually, I mean, I've been doing deep dive into pollutants, and since the biomass thing came out, and because people have had concerns, I've really been digging in deep. And those fires, I mean, the way that they measure air quality. So one of the things that people talk about is that the air quality is already bad. The way that they measure air quality on the state level and the AQMDs is you take a look at periods of time
Okay.
and what was introduced into the atmosphere during that period of time.
Okay.
So they don't look at on a day-to-day. They don't take an average of what is it today or was it tomorrow. They took a
Like
look
what
at,
it says on my phone, because that's what I check. I'm like,
well,
oh,
that's
this is
a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
But
Keep
no,
going then.
but yeah, that's the thing. But when they're talking about just like real like air quality, you know, they're taking into account the fires, and that really drastically changes the whole average of how the air quality is looked at.
Interesting.
So
okay.
those a wildfire like the ones that we've had up here. I mean, I was here for Thompson and for Park Fire.
Okay.
Those are the amount of pollutants that are put into the atmosphere when 1 million acres burns is, I mean, it's that can affect people within just a few years. Like that little bit can be harmful to kids and to just people of all ages.
Yeah.
Because it's a massive amount of smoke that's coming in. Brian Wong talks about in the last 2 big fires, he was, you know, they had to evacuate out of their house, and they went and they stayed in the restaurant. And he said that, but you couldn't breathe in the restaurant. He said the restaurant was just as thick as smoke inside as it was outside.
Yes, Brian Wong, Tong Fung Lo.
Tong Fung Lo, yeah, that's right.
For those who may not know,
Somehow
we'll
I
give a
think
little
everybody
plug
knows
there.
about Brian, but yeah, thank you for that.
But they may not, because this is Butte County wide. So some people,
That's right.
you know.
Well, and people that are in Sacramento and San Diego watching this, well,
Yes,
they're going to want to know.
all of our viewers from all over the country.
Yeah. So anyway,
But
so
yes.
I'm conscious of that. You know, I grew up with my mother was in the Sierra Club. I grew up with sensitivities to the environment, and then you know, my town was one of the first town I know of that had a recycling program. So
Really?
I've been recycling since I was in high school. You know, and it just seemed like so second nature. You know, at this point, it really made sense even when they did it back then. So I really have been checking out the biomass thing, and you know, I think you know that I went to Europe to go and look at their facilities.
Yeah, I just learned this, and I volunteered to go on the next trip. So when you go to Europe next time, and it was what? Not just. I mean, you went to
Mostly
Italy?
I was in England, but I did
mostly.
I did a day trip to Italy.
Oh, day trip to Italy. Okay.
And you know, that sounds as romantic as you make it sound right there, but I got up at 4:30 in the morning to take an hour-long train ride to get to the get to the airport on time to fly over. Some guy picked us up. We went to the biomass facility. We looked at it for a few hours, went right back to the airport, and flew right back home.
Oh, okay.
Where I had to race back to get the key to my Airbnb and run upstairs so I could join the planning commission meeting at 9 p.m.
Whatever, it's fine. You were still in. You were still in Italy. Okay, I'll give you a pass.
I did get to see Venice from the window of the plane.
Oh, so it was no fun stuff. I'm sorry.
No,
okay,
we
I
did.
feel kind of bad now.
I tried to make it like another day so we'd have dinner there at least, but the everything that we had lined up for the week, it just didn't work. So
that's
in and out the same
bummer.
day.
Well, I
was
eat
a
my
bummer.
words. That's fine. Well, maybe
It's okay, but it
maybe
does sound-
we, next time when I go with you,
When we go,
we
can stay. We'll stay for a week.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can space out the meetings.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, you were in Europe. And what did you do there with the biomass?
Well, I looked at we toured a biomass facility. So it's one that the developer here, one of the developers that here, we have 3.
Okay.
One of them, he's built 18 or something like that. His father used to build biomass.
Okay.
Yeah, and even like this part's really interesting. I think his father started building biomass, built a biomass facility in the 70s because England started thinking about we should have some energy resilience. And so let's look at doing something different.
Okay.
And so what can we do? And they thought, okay, let's do a biomass facilities.
Yeah.
So they built several around the country. And then they were like, oh God, this is like what we did in the early 1900s when we polluted everything so badly with coal-fired plants.
Okay.
And they thought, this can't be what we're going to be about now. So the industry, like including this guy, Ben, and his dad.
Okay.
It's not Ben, he was barely born.
Okay.
But Ben's dad and all the other manufacturers that had built a plant and the government worked together to come up with standards that they would all agree to live by. And so they came up with, cleaner biomass facilities. And then over the years, they've just been getting cleaner and cleaner and cleaner because the technology just keeps advancing.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So what they're doing in this one here is they're putting in some ceramic filtration. And
Okay.
there's, the next time we have a town hall, it probably won't be for a few months, I don't think. But anyone interested should come. They really are, they're interesting, and we all show slideshows of what I saw and then, and how they work. The guy that does the filter, he comes and he brings a sample of one, so you can really see and get into a little bit of the science, but we go kind of high level because nobody really can absorb
the nitty gritty
so much
of
information. Right?
What those town hall meetings, are they at City Hall? Or
we did one at the Southside Community Center.
Okay, so
and
they're
then we
bigger.
did one at the STEAM school, Stream Charter School.
Yes, so the bigger facilities to hold more people.
Yeah, because we literally wanted everybody who wanted to come. And we actually had a good turnout because typically when you have these like workshop meetings, you have very few people that come. The first one that I attended in Oroville, it was on something else, but it was in my department. I think 4 people showed up.
Yeah.
And
we're much more vocal with our fingers.
Well, that's the thing.
On the book of faces.
Yes.
That's a lot more. We feel like we're doing something.
Well, and I'd love to have those people come out too, because it really is. It's for educating the public. But we have. Anyway, it's a really great way to engage, and then they can talk to the people and all that.
Yeah.
But one thing that I got out of touring the biomass facility there is like I didn't really understand how they work. Like you can hear about it on paper, and they give me these line drawings, and I don't know I'm not an engineer, so I don't know. I can't follow along. But when you actually see it, and we walked through each of the steps, and the guy talks about each little part of it and what each part does. It's fascinating. And so one thing that's really interesting. So. The way that it works is that the wood chips are ground down to a smaller amount. So they have to filter out everything that's not wood because if anything goes in there that's not wood, it really messes with the whole system. So the system is built for wood. Right?
Okay.
I mean, systems can be built for different things, but then you have to put those things into that system.
Right. Okay. Can't be a mixture.
Right. So it goes down through some series of stuff. It's really kind of cool. It looks like an old Bugs Bunny cartoon with like things just moving through. But then it goes into the gasifier. So the gasifier burns at the temperature inside there is 1,350 degrees, and it basically pulverizes. So it doesn't even burn anything. It's like over the temperature where you would actually
just explodes.
Make a fire. It's basically it just turns it into a gas, and the gas swirls around in there. And it blows up like any the major particles and all that stuff, and then it goes up into a separate changer where it's burnt then at where the temperature is at 2,500 degrees.
My gosh!
And at that point, everything is obliterated.
Wow!
There's very few of anything that comes out of there but gas. And then the gas runs through these tubes. The tubes are inside of a big tank of water that boils the water. It puts steam up that goes out. It turns a turbine, and then that's how you get the power.
Interesting. Yeah. So big picture of how this would benefit our community is that.
Well, the big picture of why it benefits the community. And so the AQMD, all the AQMDs, air quality management districts, all want this. I went down and spoke on a panel discussion with it was hosted by the AQMD in Sacramento.
Okay.
Our local AQMD is, they're interested in this. Public health is, because the millions of acres of wood that's up here, that's dead, that's sitting there, that's no longer growing, and now it's off-gassing. but it had been collecting all through its whole life, all the
Okay.
carbon that it pulls out of the air.
Okay.
When it releases that, it releases it out as methane,
Okay.
which is a major greenhouse gas.
I was gonna say isn't that like at the dumps and things too? Like when all
Yes.
that stuff gets
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the dump, they capture that, right?
Yeah.
And they bottle it or they move it through and then
Right.
they run a generator or something with it, right?
Yeah.
But the forest, you can't really do that,
Interesting. Right.
So all of these agencies, the forestry agencies, like all of them, everyone that we've talked to so far is like really is excited that there's a project happening.
Interesting.
And then they
Okay.
get a little disappointed when they find out that this plant is going to move about 4,000 acres a year, which sounds like a lot, 4,000 acres,
Yeah.
but not. It's a small dent in.
Oh,
what is
they
it, like
want
2
more.
to 3 million acres of burnt forest that we have here in the North State.
Okay.
They want more.
They want more.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we have these other biomass facilities that are also coming, and that'll be helpful,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And it is clean. I mean, it really is clean. At that biomass facility in Italy, we walked up and stood up on it's up on the roof. It's kind of a catwalk, right? Standing right next to the flue where the last bit comes out. There is no smell. There's no
Really?
taste in the air. It doesn't
Really?
even smell like smoke. There's nothing. It's just
Interesting.
like breathing,
Oh
air.
my goodness.
And they have monitors that stand inside the flue
Okay.
that constantly monitor what's going up through the stack. And if there's any particulates that shouldn't be going up through there, there's people sitting in a room with a bunch of monitors, and then they're given an alert. If that
Okay.
continues to go for any even short length of time, there's a kill switch where they just hit a button on the
Oh,
wall and they shut
okay.
it all down.
That's like in the movies. Just the kill switch. Just
Yeah.
shut it down.
And then they're going to put one in
Interesting.
the office of the Air Quality Management District too. So
Wow.
if they see that there's particulates going up there shouldn't be, they can shut it down
They
from
can do
their
it.
office.
Interesting. So then when you say that the gas then creates energy, then that's for us? Like for
There's all kinds of things that you can do with that. It can create, basically when you're spinning a turbine, you're making electricity, and then the electricity can be used to do some other things. So you can make different gases with it for fuels, for cars, for ships.
Okay.
You can make electricity. Yeah.
So it could potentially be poured back. I mean, we could use that then, right? It's not just for getting rid of
Right.
the things that.
And
Is that
like
what-
we did form a public utility in the city, and we're still working out like how the whole thing
okay.
works, right?
So that could.
But that
I
is
see.
the public utility is going to be powered by solar power. So
Okay.
these guys, it's the same developers, by the way.
Okay.
They have 45 acres. Sorry, they have about 100 acres of land that they're engaged with. Hang on.
Oh yeah, we can pause it.
So they have about 100 acres of land that they're going to put solar farms on, and it's going to make about 45 megawatts of power.
Okay.
And then
I don't know what that for. How is that a lot of power?
It's a lot of power.
Okay, that's all I need
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah, 1 megawatt. And I'm still not fully expert, and someone can call me up
Okay.
and tell me I'm wrong about this later. But
Okay.
1 megawatt will power maybe something like 600 homes.
Oh wow. Oh, so
Yeah.
45 megawatts. Okay.
Yeah, and then it gets a little bit tricky because it's 140. It's a system that. So let's say that you can make
Mm-hmm.
1 megawatt of power. We have to keep making 1 megawatt of power because every hour that's a megawatt hour of power.
Okay.
So it has to keep on going. So the system
see.
that this solar farm that they're building will ultimately, when it's all built out, do 45 megawatts power. So it's a lot of power.
I see. So it's not all at once. It's just Is that what I'm understanding?
No, well, they
does-
will do all at once 45 megawatts, but they
Oh.
have to continuously
Oh,
make
oh,
45
okay.
megawatts
All
to
at once.
keep. Yeah, so
Okay.
if you're going to say like, hey, let's just say, okay, you have a business that runs on 2 megawatts, right? And
Okay.
we have industrial businesses that do that down
Wow.
here.
Mm-hmm.
So they need 2 megawatts. They need 2 megawatts every hour. They need 2
Mm-hmm.
megawatts all the time, right? So then the system has to continuously make 2 megawatts.
I see.
And then, they'll put in battery backup so that things can work at night. And then there's some other things that we're trying to work out. And one of the things I think that's really interesting out of this is that I've been talking to them about doing a hydrogen facility.
Okay.
And we have one of the other biomass companies that wants to build here wants to do just hydrogen. But something that I'm really interested in and that I'm trying to work is that we have a hydrogen fueling station for retail purposes. Because hydrogen really does seem to be like it's going to be maybe the fuel of our future.
Oh, interesting.
Batteries are proving to be still like not the best environmentally sound product that's out there, but they do keep the air cleaner. But then there's all the stuff that goes into the mining and then to distribution and then disposal of the batteries. It's problematic. Hydrogen, it takes in basically whatever hydrogen is.
I don't know.
That element that's one you split up water
H2,
and then you take out.
The H2O is
it's just the
two
H part of
hydrogen,
H2O.
one oxygen. Okay, so
one hydrogen, two oxygen. Wait, two hydrogens, one oxygen. See, none of us are scientists here.
H2O. Where's my science teacher?
But basically, you just take the hydrogen portion. Of that. It's the lightest element, right? It's the first one that's on the chart.
Yes.
And so you can power motors with that. You can condense it. You can turn it into so
that's
you can
cool.
run your car with it. But until you have enough hydrogen stations built out around the state, we won't have the market for hydrogen cars, which
that makes
will really
sense.
be a game changer.
Wow.
So I'm wanting us to be the first hydrogen station north of Sacramento.
I like being the first.
Right?
To things. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I had not heard about that. I have to go and do some research
we're still
on
puzzling
that.
it out. That's something that
But I mean, just hydrogen cars. Like I hadn't even,
They make them right now. In fact, if you notice, all the big car manufacturers did a battery operated car, but Toyota. And what I've heard, and I haven't verified this, is that Toyota's like, I think we're going to go straight to hydrogen.
Okay.
So they did the first sort of hybrid thing, but they didn't go all in with a full battery operated car.
Yeah, they had the Prius, but it's like, but they're doing it. Okay,
and Hyundai has a hydrogen car, and I think Honda does too, but I think that the station down there is like in Roseville or Rockland or somewhere. So unless you live in that town,
I was going to say,
it's not really
driving there to fill up or whatever you need to do.
You basically got to go back to fill up again as soon as you get home.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. Well, thank you for sharing about all of that. I know, people, we're all on the internet and we're all on the socials and things get talked about. And I think it's awesome to have that you were able to share that here, and that you had a firsthand experience with that biomass plant. I think that's really cool.
I really did. I wanted to go and vet it for the community.
That's cool. Yeah. I love that. Heart of gold right there. So, well, we are heading into our gold rush round. This is a rapid fire question round. I am going to, so you live in Chico. So this does not have to be Oroville Bay. Like this is Butte County.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to say best, and then you respond with the first thing that comes to your mind. It can be word association if you want. We had one of my good friends. It's probably my favorite Gold Rush round to date, but it was Misty, and we said tacos, and she said Tuesday, and it will forever live in my head as like the best Gold Rush round. So it's my favorite thing. Okay, so are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, best hiking spot.
Best hiking spot.
Mm-hmm. This is your chance to plug some stuff.
I have not sufficiently hiked up here, and
what?
I know I haven't even seen the wildflowers in Table Mountain.
What?
I know.
Get out of here! Yeah, no. Well, it's coming up.
I know.
Yes,
I have.
Well, you need to
that.
go before the festival. You know that, right? Because then they get.
That's when everyone comes. Yeah. Okay.
So you need to go probably end of this month or.
That's actually my goal this year.
Yeah.
That's my big goal this year is to go hike up that hill.
Yep, you can do it. Yeah, we only did it for the first time last year, so I shouldn't be. We've been up to Table Mountain a lot, but I mean, we hiked to Phantom Falls for the first time, and we've lived here all our lives.
I've hiked. I mean, it's not even a hike, but Butte Creek. So I like to walk around that river.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Butte Creek, I love it. Okay, best burger.
Best burger.
I didn't even ask. Do you eat meat?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like burgers?
I do. Yeah. God, it's so self-centered, but I like the burgers that I make the best.
Hey, we'll take it. Okay.
As I put things on there that you don't find on other burgers. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I'm curious. I know this is supposed to be rapid fire. Okay. But what do you put on your burger that you don't find on other burgers?
I make them real spicy. Like I like to put, the
like spicy
serranos, like
peppers,
sliced up serranos. I like to put olives on them.
Okay.
I like to put, I don't know. I really like bold flavors. So
Okay.
some bacon, a little cheese, and
Okay. Well, I love it. Best local event.
Best local event, Salmon Festival.
Salmon Festival. Okay.
Yeah.
That comes up a lot.
Oh man, is it only the first thing? I love the farm to table dinner.
Oh, farm to table. Yes.
I love it.
That's
I really
great.
love the farm to table. I mean, it's both charming and elegant. You know, I mean,
Yes.
it's outside.
Outside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's a great one. Best museum.
Best museum, the Chinese temple.
Chinese temple. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
There's something
It's
serene too. It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
it's lovely. It's really neat. If you have not been, you have to go. If if you're Butte County born, raised, or you moved here, you have to go to the Chinese temple. Best bookstore. I don't know if we have many left.
No.
I should remove this question.
I've been in. There's a bookstore in Chico that I've been in that's nice.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
but it all has to be Butte County centric.
It doesn't have to be.
No. I went in Portugal last year to the oldest bookstore in the world.
The oldest bookstore in the world?
Yes. And it's stunning. I mean, the ceilings, I mean, the building or the room, the store itself is a work of art. It's beautiful.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I would love that. Okay, we have to make a note. We're going to Portugal. Okay. Best grocery store.
SNS.
SNS. I was just in there last week.
Were you?
They were so helpful. Yes, I was looking for some supplements and
I like those little tiny grocery stores like that.
Yeah.
I like the organic stuff and all that too.
Yeah, SNS produce. Well, that tracks. That's on brand for you too. I love that. Best tacos.
My house.
Your house. I guess we're going to your house to eat. I think that's what we're gonna do. Best. Well, you weren't local, so I won't ask that one. I was gonna say high school, but that's okay. How about best sunset spot?
Ooh. I took a drive through the rice farms once, and it was a mistake. I weirdly put on some janky thing on my Google Maps, and it told me to turn here, and I did.
Yeah.
And I went like on these dirt roads between the rice farms, and it was at sunset, and it was amazing. And it was, I drove for maybe a couple of miles up through, there's these really tiny roads and across a bridge that looked like it was going to fall, but the sun over the fields, it was before the grass started to come up above the water. It was stunning.
I love it. We do get some pretty awesome sunsets out here.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, last one. Best coffee.
Best coffee.
You coffee drinker?
Well, I only drink mochas.
Oh, well. Only mochas.
That sounded snotty. It's because I never got a taste for coffee.
Well, mocha has chocolate, right? It's coffee with chocolate.
It's coffee with chocolate?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, who has the best mocha?
Um,
in town or in Butte County?
If you said best coffee bar, it'd be really hard because I really love both Mugshots and the Union.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and both for different vibes, but they're both great spaces.
Mm-hmm.
The Union has macadamia milk.
Okay.
Which was the first time I'd ever had that.
I don't know if I've ever had it.
That's what they put in instead of like
regular milk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to try it. That's it. Do they put that in their matcha? I wonder.
I mean, it's you
Do
have
they
to
serve
ask for
regular
it. So I
milk?
asked if they had.
Oh, okay.
I asked if they had almond milk, and they said macadamia. So I said, "Well, throw it in my cup." And now I'm a macadamia milk guy.
Okay, an M&M and macadamia milk. I love it. Awesome. Well, good. I like plugging some local spots in the Gold Rush round. It's super fun. There was one thing. Oh, so kind of, I would love for people as we wrap up for you to kind of plug your thing. So you mentioned a newsletter. How do people sign up for that? Where can they go to?
They can find it on our city's website.
Okay. I think James will probably pull it up, but cityoforoville.org, I think.
Cityoforoville.org. And I could forward it to you, maybe if that's easier to add in later.
Yeah, I can add a link.
Yeah,
For sure.
we are redoing my department's web pages.
Okay.
Another week or so, they should be all up and running.
Nice.
So we'll have it in a different spot probably too.
Yeah.
But people can sign up for that newsletter and for all of our council meetings and for things that are coming up. You just click the boxes that you're interested in.
Okay.
And you can, I really, as I said earlier, really want to help sort of guide people to be more engaged into their own community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and speak of the website, it is from what I've seen so far I'm really liking the consistency in the branding and the logo and the refresh, and it just feels more intuitive to go on and use that. You guys are doing a really good job.
It does.
With
Thanks.
that.
Yeah. We still have some work to. The information from the old pages came up, so we're meeting regularly to change that. But when you have a really busy schedule, it's hard to do everything.
Got to get those roller skates.
Yeah,
Put those roller skates
right. I need to put them on my computer.
Oh gosh, that would be hilarious. Well, thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yay! Thanks for saying yes, and more importantly, thanks for having a heart of gold.
Thank you.
Yay!
Yeah.
And then we have some things, so we sing them.
Okay.
We're just talking with mics in our face.
Perfect.
That's it. Totally normal. You might have to, because I don't know if it was Seattle or if I'm making it up, if it was my friends back east. Golly. I don't know why it's so. I could never be on live TV. Hang on, pause. I'm going to start this whole thing over. Sorry. We'll put it in the bloopers. Okay.